Yesterday, something really cool happened. I had my first scientific publication, and I want to share a bit about how I'm feeling and about everything that went into it the last, I would say, 15, 16 months, actually a little bit more before that, about 17 months that led into all this. So let me take you back to the beginning here. So around probably 15, 17 months ago. So essentially think of right now it is March 2024. I was contemplating about what do I want to do since I graduated grad school. I was wondering if I want to pursue more education for a PhD program, but I wasn't sure what. Something, of course, within the hemisphere of exercise physiology, nutritional science, but didn't know what exactly since those are still very broad topics. And so around middle of 2022 fall season, probably September, October time, I can't remember the exact time, was when I was contemplating what do I do. I work a full-time job right now. What are my next steps? And so I was looking around. I wanted more research experience because during school I didn't have that much research experience, and being in a rigorous PhD program, research is heavily intimate within that process. So I wanted to try to get some more hands-on experience to just see because my academic schooling, I did my master's, but I didn't do it in a lab. I just did the coursework route and took the comprehensive exam at the end of my program. And it was also during the time of COVID, during 2019 to 2021. And so, and my lab options were very small, and I had a bad reputation because of a prior occurrence that happened when I was an undergrad, and just things didn't shake out where I had lab experience, right? The knowledge portion, my hunger, insatiable hunger for learning was nurtured, and then it has flourished all up to now, but I want to see the research component and see that part. And so around September to October, I believe, was when I was looking online to see what are possible options for me. Actually, no, let me pull this back. It's kind of ringing a bell here. I actually started looking at the beginning of 22. Some things happened. I was applying to PT school. I was actually looking to doing some research to help me with the process. Learned that during the summer of 22 that I wasn't going to get into any of my programs. Had all that stuff happened, and then the idea got brought back up again. Now I'm remembering as I'm sharing the story, in that fall season was when the idea got brought up again, and then I reached out, and then I was able to go through, and got this volunteer experience in this research lab that was looking at very much exercise, aerobic, cerebral vascular, Alzheimer's, so neuro, cardiovascular stuff, and exercise, um, just generally. And so that was cool. Got in January of 23 was when I started, and the thing with that was my business side stuff, my content creation. I really pulled back on a lot of that because I wasn't doing well, but I did have a full-time job, and I had enough autonomy, and I knew how to work my schedule, move the pieces on the board to where I can do both jobs at the same time. That was something I was really worried about, but I made sure that I'm basically playing chess, and I signed up for 4 months, so that was 16 weeks. And so for 16 weeks, I worked both jobs exact same time while still trying to get clients on the back end too. And it was just a weekly play. It's just I was trying to run a play and just juggle back and forth both responsibilities, driving back and forth with both places, and that was a lot. And there were a couple times where I did have to use PTO because there were some overlapping of schedules of like either a meeting or a shift I had to do or things got moved around, and I did have to deploy some PTO during that time and to make sure I was okay. And then went through the whole experience, was a part of the team to be able to contribute my work into the project of getting this paper submitted and published. And the paper is called Peripheral Vascular Function and Stroke: Systematic Review and Meta-Analyses. And even though my research experience ended around April, May of 23, this was still something that I was a part of, and we worked from a distance throughout the year, on and off, depending on the needs of this stuff. When it comes to research, this stuff takes time. And we thought we were good, we submitted, but then things got brought back, we had to keep working on it, and etc. And then now, just as of a week and a half ago, I learned that it was accepted, and then as of yesterday, it was released online for the world to be able to see. So I had to like keep quiet about this whole thing. And throughout that whole process, that now me just looking back, and as I took you guys through the journey of all that, that was a very quick and bullet point snapshot of everything, but there was so much going on, so much I had to learn, and I learned for myself, and of juggling basically two jobs at the same time while doing all my other extracurricular with content and clients on the side. And just, if you want anything, you have to make it a priority. And I wanted this so bad because I wanted to answer my question and be able to contribute work and provide my time. And I didn't get paid for this. It was 16 weeks, 4 months of free work, or essentially this whole year of all this stuff. This was free work. This is something I voluntarily did. And at the end of all this, I was hesitant to. There's these feelings that came up to my mind, and yes, this is important and it matters that it is my first scientific publication, that I had the opportunity to be a part of the team to contribute work, and this was the result, and it's so cool. But when it comes to academic, it's a slippery slope for me, and it's very quick as a default setting for me to downplay the outcome that I achieve. And so what I mean by that is, yes, I got this, I got the message, and of course anybody would be very happy, but my first immediate thought was, hey, you didn't write the text. You did a lot of other work that led to the results, but and so I almost feel like I can't, or it's like, hey, it's just one, hey, or you're not first author, or hey, it's not in a whatever. It almost like it's so easy for me to downplay myself in my head, and to make me feel like, hey, you shouldn't be talking about this out loud. You shouldn't be sharing this stuff because other people are doing better. And it's some type of narrative like that, telling that story in my mind that I'm trying to unravel in a lot of different areas, and it's hard for me. But this is important because you shouldn't downplay your successes, and you don't have to compare your successes to other people. We are all in our own race. We're not running in the race against anybody else. You can try, but it's always going to be an ever-losing battle. And if you want to do it objectively and like awards and like stuff like that, like sure. But like, we're all in our own race. You are only racing yourself. And 13-year-old me would be very proud of this right now. Because, or even 18-year-old me would be really proud of this right now, because when I was in high school trying to get into college, my ACT score was the lowest of the lows. Like, I have my scores in front of me right now, and like my lowest one, my English was an 8. My science was a 13, and I took it again, and it went up by 1. I had to take the ACT 3 times. It went from 13 to 14 and then to 11. And consistently, all my scores across everything ranged from 8 to 19. That was the range, but everything averaged around 11 to 15. That's the consistent ranges. And so as you can see, I barely got into undergrad. I barely got into it. And I it's a consistent thing where I feel like I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, any of that stuff, and I downplay my achievements when that's so messed up, and that's something that it's going to be something that I consistently work on, and this you should be proud. And I want to pull this back to whatever it is in life that you are trying to get better at. There's going to be moments where you say you can't even grip onto a bar to hold your own body weight, and it takes you 2 or 3 years to be able to grip that bar. And then you look at everybody else, and it's quickly for you to feel bad about yourself that's taking you so long. Or if you reframe it, look at where you were and look at where you are now. You're in your own fight. And you have to celebrate your wins. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be very proud of yourself. Because it's your life. It's your own achievements. And you should be proud of it because you did work really hard. Don't let all that hard work, all that discipline, all that determination, all those hard days result almost in no sense of pride, no sense of actually feeling those good feelings. And this stuff is hard for me, and something that I'm trying to work on, and it's hard for me to still wrap my head around that. Like, I went out of my way so much to do this. I didn't have to go on this long process to try to join this lab, to volunteer time that I was actually getting paid for a different job. I worked both jobs simultaneously. I juggled both of my responsibilities. I didn't get paid. I actually spent my PTO time, my paid time off, to go work in a research lab for this. I remember there were nights where I spent till midnight working on the screening, data extraction, etc. Because I didn't know any of this stuff. I was never taught how to do any of the scientific stuff. It was a year or two since I was really even that in depth in intellectual knowledge when it comes to cardiovascular and or reading or just like hard science thinking, critical thinking, and jumping right into this and all the other skills and all the other stuff that I chose to pick up along the way. I don't have to do any of this stuff, but I, this mattered to me, and I made effort and time, and I prioritized it. And yes, there was some luxury of that. I don't have a wife, children, things like that get in the way, and I know this is not for everybody, but like, fuck that. I don't need to justify my success. I don't need to justify the situation. It can just be that, and I can just be proud of that. And same for you. If you feel like you have to justify every success, everything you do, just because it may fit whatever narrative or story or help somebody else feel better, fuck them. Fuck that. Be proud of it. And so, yeah, this is so cool. This is cool that all that work, all that fear, all that anxiety, all that was put in, all the things everything came out to this. And of course, this is not the end. And if you're wondering if I am going to go and pursue a PhD program, I really do want to. I'm just still waiting a little bit on finding the right mentor program that suits the best for me and my needs. And I'm in no rush at the moment because business and content is my main priority, because when I get into a program, I don't want to be broke while I go through it, because the stipend that grad students make, it's not livable. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't want to do that. And so I'm gonna wait until I'm in a good position professionally, financially, to be able to support myself still, take a bit of a backseat, or be able to do everything's running smoother, because I'm still in the building phase. I want things to get out of that, and then be in a okay spot, and then bring on that new challenge. And so I'm excited for that. And this is think that it's meaningful work that matters, and it's going to show that I care. I really, really do care about this. Um, so I just wanted to take you guys with me, and share some of the experience, some of the how everything unfolded, some of my thoughts, my feelings of my own imposter syndrome, or my own like trying to minimize it, to almost devalue myself and all that stuff, and how I'm working on overcoming that, and a lot of those um, mental frames and tools that I am using to help with those are a lot of lessons I learned through physical practice, through training, and it's it's so cool to see how that works. And the lessons can be, you can use it can be helpful on both sides of the coin of all this, as you draw a parallel between all these things. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And yeah, we got our first scientific publication. One of who knows how many in this life. And we're going to keep on doing hard things, hard, scary things, because we can do it. See you guys tomorrow.